Hi, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying these little fun spiritual meditations on the classic movie The Matrix. I got to discuss the training scene with you. You might think it's just a fun experiment in special effects, but let us go deeper. Let us see the spiritual meaning of it. If you know the movie, Morpheus is trying to train Thomas Anderson so that he might understand the Matrix from being a person outside of the Matrix. When you go back into the Matrix, you are part of the computer program. The training sequence has two tests. One is the fight, the other is the jump. One line in the fight scene, which we need to go into, is when Neo is on the ground and Morpheus bends over him and says, "Do you think that's air you're breathing?" On the science fiction level, the meaning is obvious. You are now connected into a virtual simulator of reality in the real world. What's going on in your mind is all being driven by the computer program. So when Neo thinks he's breathing air, he's actually just still in the computer program. That's the science fiction level. We might take that to a deeper level when we do understand reality from God's perspective. That is to say that when we understand the world around us is completely the creation, the idea of God. God put it together. And in some ways we could imagine a world without gravity. We could imagine a world without sickness and death. As a matter of fact, that is part of our belief. Before the original sin, there was no sickness and death. You can jump off a building and, so to speak, just bounce off the sidewalk. In terms of what God could have created, okay? Now don't try jumping off of buildings and try to think that that's a test of faith. However, we do know that God could have made a different kind of universe, but he didn't, and therefore we have to know, accept, and understand the world in which we live. But understanding that it is created by God is the moment of faith that the movie is trying to push us to. So when Morpheus asks Neo, you think that's air you're breathing? Morpheus knows the answer is no. But let me change it a little bit for our retreat purposes. When you think in your life, my friends, you are having great success, I might ask you as a priest, do you think that's true success you're experiencing? When you are experiencing great pleasure or you think you have true friends, I could ask, do you think those are true friends? There's so many things in life that touch our spiritual journey and our quest for the true God, the quest for the right way God wants us to live. And we could ask ourselves over and over again, is this true success? Is this true happiness? Is this true friendship? Is this true love? And of course that theme comes a great deal a little bit later in the movie. The other part of the training sequence that we have to dive into is when Mr. Anderson says to Morpheus, "I know what you're trying to do." And Morpheus responds, "I'm trying to free your mind." Because in the other sequence, when he's jumping over the building, Morpheus says so powerfully, remember, free your mind. You have to let it all go. Fear, doubt, disbelief. And that's when your mind is freed. Now, of course, this is a very ambiguous thing, my friends, because, as I say, remember, the interpretation of this movie is somewhat dangerous. Because I know a lot of young people who might look at this, or old adults as well, it doesn't matter what age you are, but you could look at it and say, oh, what the message of the movie is I'm supposed to get rid of all the things that I have learned so far in life. kind of similar to, oh, everything you learned about American history you have to throw out, or everything that has been taught to you by people over 30, reject. There is that element, there's that risk of turning into the radical rebel who accepts nothing on the authority of others. And so that's, you might think, oh, this movie is trying to have me free my mind. But let me propose another interpretation. Imagine someone who is not very religious, skeptical about religion, and maybe the Spirit is just entering their heart or their mind, and they're being invited by someone who does go to church, someone who does love faith, especially our Catholic religion. That step into faith, that step into religion, indeed does require freeing your mind from all the prejudice, the negative reputation that religion has had in your life. Let that go, and that's where the mind is freed to understand that God is behind everything, that God is in control of everything except your free will. That's why that choice at the beginning of the movie between the red pill and the blue pill is so important, and we have to keep remembering that. Choosing one pill and going to see reality for what it is, or choosing another one to accept the lies that have been told to us by those who deny there is no God, that there is no creator, that the whole universe is just a pile of chemicals and we are just a glob of matter floating through an aimless, purposeless, meaningless universe. Stay tuned for the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to Unlike Other Nations. God love you.